What is going on, Teamboosted? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to get some work done on the Datsun. Once again, we're getting very close and it should be pretty cool. Today we're going to be finishing up, I think, the wastegate position and some intercooler piping, and the engine. You guys are going to be able to see what it's looking like. You probably already do because I probably threw it in the thumbnail. But other thing I wanted to mention is not only is the Datsun getting close, the Beetle is getting pretty insane itself. You can see James is still messing with this carbon fiber wing. He's got it so his oil cooler with the fans on it is sticking through either side. That looks really good. This just needs another layer of carbon and a clear coat, and it's going to look really, really good. Like, look at this. This is crazy. It's so light. So you can see it's got the 13B, which is going to be turbocharged, obviously, in there. It's I think next time James is going to be working on the dry sump system for this. It is dry sumped. That is to create some clearance on the bottom because the oil pan was real low. You can see how low this engine sits. Here's the mounts that he made for this. What's taking the longest, though, is definitely the wiring. James has gone through, and there isn't anything that's not custom about this wiring. Literally every single thing in here has been redone and hooked up to like bolt connectors, so it's really easy to disconnect the engine harness and the your lighting harness, all that stuff. It's also looking super race car. It's just funny because I mean, on the outside it's a Beetle. Well, it's a Beetle, but you can clearly tell like it's not your average Beetle. What's interesting is that and this are kind of in the same spot here. You can see that Devin is a little less organized, but going through the wiring. We're gonna come in here, come into my office. Okay, let's talk about this switch panel. Give me that light so you can see better. You guys remember what this used to look like. Devin's been wiring this up. It's way more efficient. It's gonna be more functional. And you'll notice that there's nothing on the steering stock.
Yeah, that's because everything on the steering stock didn't work like at all. So we had our ignition, which was kind of ghetto wired up, and we had all of our turn signals and lights and everything like that. And none of that stuff worked. So this panel actually replaces all of those things. We have a start, we have ignition, we're gonna have all of our lights and blinkers and everything done up on this. So it's just vastly improved and makes sense now.
What's going on with the back wall here?
So our EC...
This light sucks. Sorry guys, we gotta invest in some stage lighting.
Yeah, so our ECU harness is right here. ECU is gonna be mounted down here. These are all the fuses for everything as far as the ECU goes, and the relays and everything. And then we have bridge connectors here for ignition, power, and ground. Instead of having everything piled up before, I don't know if you remember this starter solenoid, but it had like 17 different things coming off of here.
You're just gonna skip over the Men in Black red button, dude?
Oh yeah, this is our super button. This is our inertia switch for our fuel system, so if we ever crash, it'll cut our fuel and we won't burn in a fiery explosion.
Basically how that works is if that thing sees more than 10 Gs, which is actually an absurd amount, it'll cut fuel. So like if we do get knocked unconscious and the car's running and there's a leak, the fuel pump doesn't go and catch us on fire and kill us.
Yeah, and then we got more bridges right over here, and all of this is just going to be more relays for all the lights and everything like that.
This fancy Honda kick panel, courtesy of James, so people don't kick all of our really...
Try to save the electronics from being destroyed by probably Sam's gigantic fucking
You'll notice in the last video we've got our intake plenum. The guys next door are going hard on some wood or something.
The shit out of something.
This is a Pro J 90mm throttle body, and this is going to make drivability trash, but we don't care. Basically, there's not really any harm in having a giant throttle body, but you got to figure that this much throttle on this thing is equivalent to full throttle on a appropriately sized throttle body. So a little bit of input from the driver, and this thing's just going to want to blast off. Which is good for like drag racing, which is something we're going to do for it, but yeah, kind of poor for everything else like autocross, which is other things that we're going to do for it.
There's no level of tuning that'll be able to fix that.
So today we're going to be more in here doing stuff. So I had a really nice HKS legitimate blow-off valve that we were going to use, but it came to the garage and you guys see just how much shit is in here. I've lost it, so we're going to put a China blow-off valve on. Good thing blow-off valves really aren't important. It's more for the novelty. Y'all could argue about turbo flutter, but it doesn't really damage the turbo. I run all my other cars like that. It'll be fine. But for the purpose of having the provisions for a blow-off valve, I believe we're just gonna do it straight to the intercooler.
Oh, wobbly hole saw.
That's good.
Wood.
No, it fell in there, didn't it? Oh, that wasn't that hard. So now we need another elbow. Something to the, I don't know what way it goes. But, you know, you guys get it. Goes on there. Like that. That's what the girls I like sound like.
Enough. Don't need that hole saw again.
Well, dirty, but that'll do. We have to spray the LOL on the other side because we had to flip this around recently. Imitation tile not looking too bad. Y'all ever been to Five Guys? So you know it's good when the bag is like wet. There's nothing wrong with table fries. I'm gonna need to shower after this. If we die mid welding, those burgers, not the best idea. This is pretty much welded up already, so just little elephant trunk. Y'all might be like, waste cake priority. It'll be fine. We're running 30 psi anyway, so a little bit of boost creep never killed.
Basic gist of it too is the only reason it's jogged over so far is to give clearance to the spark plug. You look at it from the top, spark plugs are here and here. If that was mounted directly onto the manifold right there, it would basically block the number 3 plug. So we're trying to avoid that.
I don't know if you guys remember, but this car had a history of melting the number 3 plug actually, so let's not do that again. Looks like we got enough room for the exhaust. Dang boy, this engine's getting nuts. It's scoped a little bit since the last build.
Only slightly. Only a lot. I hope that wasn't important. That was just light bulb.
Yeah, we can get more light bulbs. Dude, this thing's gonna
Chooch.
It's gonna gape, dude.
Take some people to Gablebees.
It's nice to have a normal car sometimes. All right, guys, I don't know if Devin mentioned it earlier, but he had to bounce a little bit early, so I'm just gonna close this one out in the car. Putting in a lot of work, a lot of hours to get this thing done. Still about a few days off, but most of the major components are there. The engine's looking crazy. We're pretty excited. It's got that insane drivetrain. It's got the Richmond 4+1, the S13 subframe. It's just such a better version of what this car was when we first built it, and I just can't wait to see what it drives like. I'm gonna pick a winner right now. Well, Devin is, when he edits the video, he's gonna put it up on the screen. The comment that won is right here. Just hit us up at Teamboosted at boostedshades.com or through any of our social media platforms. We'll get back to you and ship you something. If you guys wanna win, all you gotta do is like, subscribe, leave a comment. The comment could be anything. I don't know if I mentioned, but we give away stuff from Boosted Shades. That's what this is all about. I'm tired. Anyways, like, subscribe, leave a comment. We ask you guys things at the end of the video to make it easier if you can't think of a comment. This video's question is how long between first start and the engine blowing up inevitably, because that's the end game with this. We're gonna put a different engine in after this one blows up. We're gonna try to do all sorts of stuff with it, but the inevitable end of this engine is for it to blow up. How long do you think that's gonna take us to destroy this engine that we've built, that we've spent so much time making? Leave that in the comments or comment whatever you want. You're eligible to win stuff from boostedchiz.com. That's going to do it for this one, guys. See you next time.